The very first time I ever made contact with Wizards of the Coast was at GP Vegas 2015, where, in response to my critique of Modern Masters 2015, the second Modern Masters set, I was invited to come up and say hi to their community manager. It was the first time in about 2 years of YouTubing that Wizards of the Coast acknowledged I existed. Thrilling, although it would be another 6 months until I received my first preview card. That, of course, was Modern Masters 2, but what I'm about to show you is something I've never shown anyone before. I've reviewed Modern Masters 2 through present, but Modern Masters 1, which came out just before I started my YouTube channel, well, I found a test video I made right as I was deciding to start that channel. This was never published, but here I am, way back in 2013, attempting to review the original Modern Masters. Roll it! Dude, Modern Masters is awesome. It is the best idea that Wizards of the Coast has had since it brought back the black border in 10th edition. It's amazing to draft, like drafting a cube, and it's packed full of reprints and only $6.99 per pack. I have only 2 problems with Modern Masters. One, I think it's strange that they didn't reprint the 5 fetch lands of Modern in a Modern Masters reprint set. Oops, I'm sure in the next Modern Masters they will reprint those 5 fetch lands because they're starting to get expensive. Scalding Tarn is up to $15 each. Whoa, I don't want to have to wait until we return to Zendikar to assuredly see those fetch lands reprinted, so I'm sure the next Modern Masters will have it. The only other problem is, Wizards of the Coast did not print enough of this. Some stores, due to such low supply, have had to charge up to $9.99 per pack instead of $6.99. So I hope Wizards of the Coast learned a lesson from that. And that lesson is print more. That way these can sell assuredly for $6.99 each instead of the $9.99 that many Magic the Gathering players had to pay. That is the lesson that Wizards of the Coast will learn from this, I am sure. It's like I don't age. You know, it's funny how big a part of my Magic the Gathering journey the Modern Masters series has been. Modern was the first format I truly fell in love with, and it was what really caused my love of Magic the Gathering to turn into a positive obsession, diving into not only the myriad decks the format had to offer, but the sets those cards in those decks originated from, the history of Magic that had transpired during my hiatus, a desire to reclaim and celebrate all of it, and along the way, an intense need to share my love of Modern with others. Before even Modern Masters 1 came out, I remember bringing several spare Modern decks to my local game store every week to loan out and desperately try to get the minimum of 6 people registered so the event would fire. And that led all the way to making YouTube video after YouTube video showing off how great Modern was and imploring Wizards of the Coast to make it more affordable. I suppose in some ways the Modern Masters series has also then been a huge part of this channel. It was the reprint set for Modern, and I was always advocating for reprints specifically for Modern. Sadly, it never quite turned into what I wanted, but it was still a wild ride. And today, I get to share that ride with you once again as I crack open a pack from each Masters set ever made, starting with the $6.99 original Modern Masters all the way back from 2013. It's funny how much this original Modern Masters set influenced what is the present day of Magic the Gathering retail. The legend goes that because it sold out so dramatically and people were paying such a huge surcharge, nearly double, or in some cases actually double, of the MSRP, that Wizards of the Coast decided, hey, Magic the Gathering players are willing to pay more, so we should charge more. Why leave money on the table? That, of course, led to future Modern Masters sets being so much more per pack, increasing set after set, while in many cases arguably containing less and less, until the recent 2 sets, which contained quite a lot but cost more than ever. Hey, doubling season. This'll go great in my Vorin Collect Super Jerks deck. Gotta say, this foil is pretty flat. There's, a tiny little curve, and I'm gonna put it in a sleeve, but I can tell the difference in the card quality just going through the cards in my fingers. Modern Masters 2015 is the only Magic the Gathering set that used these environmentally safe booster packs. At the time, it was one of the bigger disappointments of the set, as it led to many cards being damaged internally. The feeling at the time was that the idea behind it was right, the implementation was wrong. Everyone expected them to keep working on it, but they apparently abandoned it entirely. Oh well, I guess Mother Nature can take one for the team. Eternal Masters was a really great Masters set. While I was personally disappointed that it deviated from the aim of Modern, and of course still disappointed that there were no fetch lands reprinted in it, I really enjoyed the set. It had some real value in it, and the draft was actually very fun. Here we go, 2017, the only time they reprinted fetch lands. Well, 5 of them. This was, I felt, one of their most home run sets. And amazingly, they didn't further raise the price, although of course it had already been raised since the early days. I thought there was great value here, and there was even a moment right before it hit that you could scoop these up for less than MSRP, something I advocated greatly. If you really want a wild ride, after this video, check out my Modern Masters 2017 booster box game. I think it was one of the most fun booster box games I ever had. So these bottom 4 sets are when everything with Masters changed. This is where it really looked like Wizards of the Coast didn't know what it was doing anymore with these sets. The focus or intent was muddled at best, the rollout clumsy, and while there was indeed value in it, though it was largely tied to cards like Mana Drain, this was the first time it felt like a solid miss. Ah, Masters 25, the celebration of a quarter-century of Magic the Gathering that seemed to go out of its way to include as few iconic Magic the Gathering cards as possible. While there definitely was some value in here, most notably Jace the Mind Sculptor, the inclusions from set to set were far from the most memorable cards. And Ultimate Masters, the final Masters set ever, at least for about a year, when Double Masters then came out because they had no new ideas. Ultimate Masters was a return to form in all ways but one. I actually said at the time that it looked like my dream Masters set, save of course for the fact it still didn't have fetch lands in it. But aside from that, it really was everything I had ever dreamed of advocated for a Masters set. I honestly said in a video it felt as though it had been designed more or less just for me, except for the fact that they raised the price on this exponentially. This is the set where the famous words, "maybe this product isn't for you," were first uttered, which was literally during their live stream announcement of it, where they continued to fumble over what the price was as they themselves could not remember it, and then came up with that classic, "well, maybe it's not for you," as they asked themselves, is that a lot of money? Answer, it was a lot of money. Great set, but should have kept it at $9.99. And Double Masters. Well, again, I really liked everything about Double Masters but the price. I just think it's really funny how they can say, hey, we're going to include a box topper in Ultimate Masters, and that's why it's going to cost so much more. Or in this case, hey, one of the same number of cardboard pieces in here is going to be an additional rare, and therefore the price is going to need to be double. It's a shame, too, because Double Masters was a really fun set and had a lot of great reprints in it. So yeah, that 8-year-old foil from earlier, that was a lot flatter than this one. I could feel with my fingers the cards getting worse over time. I really could, it was wild. Well, I got the doubling season. Would you buy 2 packs of original Modern Masters at $19.99 each? That's the price I got that pack at. Would you buy 2 packs of original Modern Masters at $19.99 each if I guaranteed you, magically somehow, that you too would crack that doubling season, huh? I'm going to say I guarantee you're going to get that doubling season if you buy 2 packs. Well, guess what? That's the price of a doubling season down at your local game store. So maybe go on down there and spend your money and be sure that you get the single that you need for the deck that you want to play, as opposed to taking a gamble, because that's exactly what cracking open these packs is. Gambling. And the house always wins. That money is better spent on the singles that you are looking for, that you are hoping for, than several of these packs at these prices. And I may have gotten lucky on a couple of these. That's pretty rare. Those who are longtime viewers of my channel know that is rare to get this lucky for me. I usually don't have it, but that was just it. Luck. And yours likely will not hold out. Keep it radical, everyone, and I hope to see and shake hands with all of you next week at GP Miami, or the week after that at GP Salt Lake City, or the week after that at GP Columbus, or the week after that at GP Houston, or the week after that at GP Los Angeles, or the week after that at GP Minneapolis, or the week after that at GP Seattle, or the week after that at GP Tokyo, or the week after that at GP Brisbane, or the week after that at